No. Well, anyway, I'm here today at StL College that's in St. Louis, Missouri. It's the hometown radio station for me. I'm basically trying to get out and connect more with my community because I'm doing a lot of big things and I want to be a part of my community and I want the community to be a part of it with me. So, what do you want to go with first? What do you think? What's the hottest topic we should touch on first?
I think probably MMA.
With MMA?
And we could talk about all your other projects, chop away like a tree,
Mm-hmm.
But from what hit me first about you was seeing your boxing. I saw a YouTube thing, and you were doing some jabs, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put Rob on the spot here. Rob Evans, my manager. Rob, why don't you tell him a little bit about me and MMA? How about that?
How you guys doing? Yeah, Ashley's had a couple amateur fights, and after so many amateur fights, then we will actually, of course, she'll be going pro. And we have a lot of things, reality show different things that we can't really talk about, but I'm a movie producer, so we do movies and reality shows, and we have a lot of things coming up for Ashley. She does have 2 fights right now. She's going to start training with world champion Jermaine Andre, which if you guys don't know who Jermaine is, he's a world champion. He's fought UFC. He's been around the fight game forever. And actually, we had a reality show called Iron Ring with Floyd Mayweather and Ludacris and all those guys. And Jermaine was the head coach on that show. And he's got a movie called Submission, which is an MMA movie with Frank Shamrock, Ving Rhames, and that's a movie I produced. And actually have some people out of St. Louis on the soundtracks, rapper Jenna and Shatter Mask rock group, and got a lot of big stars in that movie, and Jermaine's also in that movie. That's an MMA movie coming out. But a lot of future MMA things we got coming up with Ashley. Besides reality show movie stuff, her fight career, she's getting ready to go back at it strong, start training, because she's got 38 fires and 2 firemen, and she's always got way too much stuff going on. So
hey Rob,
can you back in the studio.
Can you back up for our listeners and explain what MMA is, so we people are listening going, what is MMA?
Sure. And the common thing that everyone says is UFC, and it's cage fighting, and a lot of people think that cage fighting is UFC, but UFC is the name. It's like NFL with football. It's a branded name that's the biggest, and there's Strikeforce also. UFC and Strikeforce are the 2 biggest names. But MMA means mixed martial arts. And what happened was you had boxers, wrestlers, taekwondo, Russian sambo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so many different arts, where Jermaine actually started a black belt program about 8 years ago, where he takes the best of every art and puts it all together in a black belt program. But basically, mixed martial arts is all those put in a melting pot and put together.
Cool.
So that's where MMA, mixed martial arts, comes from.
Great,
which is one of the number 1 things on TV right now and blowing up the world. But the other thing is with MMA, as far as women fighters, a lot of women fighters, used to run around and look butchy with mullets, and now you got, beautiful girls like Ashley that are fighting, so it's a change in the game, so not just a pretty face, but out there banging in the cage. So look for her for some more future fights that are going to be coming up, and like I said, she's getting ready to start coming to the academy and working out with Jermaine, working out with the top guys, and be looking for it.
Okay, now I've got to ask Ashley, you seem like you were some kind of a boxer. You've got that natural punch. Did you have like an older brother or a younger brother that used to always beat up on you, or you can tell you got some punch style? How did you develop your punch?
Actually, I don't have any older brothers or sisters. I'm the oldest of 5 children. When I was a kid, I didn't really do too much as far as like training or anything like that within MMA. I had an uncle, my Uncle Pat, who did used to I'd be watching TV or something, and he'd come up and he'd just start like wrestling with me or something like that. But it wasn't until I got into the military that I even had like an interest in self-defense. And after I got out of the military, I started doing modeling, and then I started doing MMA ring girl jobs. And that was actually really where I fell in love with the sport itself. And from there, I got an opportunity to be offered to do a fight for a hot girl fight title, and it was something that when I got offered for the 3 month of training, I just kind of was like, hey, you know what, let me do it, let's see what's going on. You know, I don't really know how to defend myself that much as a woman, and I just wanted to, you know, see if I could even do it in the first place. So I started doing the training and I fell in love with it. The trainer I used to have, I was really good with him as far as him understanding where I was coming from, like as an individual. And it wasn't really about for me it's not really about like how often I do it or like how much of a name I make for myself in MMA, because I'm not going to try to do that to become like a big person, you know, famous wise like that. I do it for myself. Because it's something that for me now I feel like it helps me just feel more confident, and you know, it's nice to be able to defend yourself in case you need that, you know, if you ever find yourself in a situation like that.
Right. So you say you were in the military. I think from what I recall, there was something about 9/11 that might have influenced you in enlisting.
Yeah.
Can you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, when I first went into the military, it was actually, my anniversary date is 9/10/2002. I went in a year after 9/11 because, specifically because of 9/11, and, you know, there is a few other reasons. I wanted to go to college and I didn't have money to go to school, and I knew that wasn't going to be able to happen unless I had something like the Air Force to pay for my education. And I also did want to travel, and that was, you know, part of the deployment factor, which I never did get to be deployed. I did try so many times, I volunteered, but I don't know, I think that the Air Force in a way still wants to protect the women that they do have. But as far as for the 9/11, I know that there's a lot of things that have been going on recently because of, you know, Osama and everything that happened with him. I'm not going to touch too much on that subject because I don't want to turn this into a political thing. But I just know that for a lot of Americans, it's a good time for us to have peace, finally, at least after, you know, so much of what happened to us on our homeland and our home front. So I know it's a big closure for Americans. I specifically feel like it's a closure for me now being out of the military, because I, in a way, kind of started going along with that movement when it first started. So, you know, it's pretty much, it's like a bittersweet type of thing, you know.